a lot of pivotal response treatment, which is them following the child's motivation, and we do a lot of group activities for functional skills so that they can be included in their typical classrooms in their schools or with peers. A lot of that social development that they miss when they're in an inclusive environment here, we try to give that to them so that they can generalize it. So, the communication is a big part of what we do. So we focus a lot on motivation-led communication skills with them, and each of their staff are always pushing communication every chance they get.
Showing off for the camera.
Hey, give this to Hunter. You can show your This is our diner. It's part of our community rooms where we have a diner here, a gym room, a salon room, a library, a hotel room, just basically to help our kids learn vocational skills, which is kind of fun because eventually they'll go out into the real world and have jobs, and this is just our more sterile environment for training them, and then we immediately start generalizing it into the community. Our salon here, this is where we work on personal hygiene, hair cutting, nail clipping, combing our hair, expanding into Utah County, which is really exciting. We're doing that in the next couple of months, and just trying to get our reach out to more so that the kids that are involved in autism treatment can be involved in their communities and just generalized across all settings. So it's really exciting. My passion comes from this little guy who's not so little anymore. My son Riley is now 13 years old. And just in the last year, he started saying his first words, which is very exciting.
So we typically find play interactions to build communication skills with the kids throughout the day.
It's important for me that the community understand that these kids are an important part of our community. They shouldn't be isolated. They should be included always. So the reason why we do this is so that these kids can have a successful life in their communities.
This year we chose the Autism Council of Utah, at which time we had posters and banners and cards as well as a little flyer which described it, but it was kind of surprising how many people already knew about the organization. It actually taught us a lot when we came and talked about it.
I was very much in favor of them supporting the Autism Council of Utah. I have a grandson, Jack, who just turned 4, who is autistic.
We have a 16-year-old boy who has autism, and Carson is a great kid, and we like to do all we can to make his life better. And one of the ways we feel like we can do that is by giving to the Autism Council of Utah. They do a great job getting the money to the people who need it, and it's an honor and a great opportunity for us to give.
I took a new Subaru to the Hunger Games. It was a fundraiser for Autism Council of Utah.
One of our favorite employees of all time we had here, his name was Jake. He has autism. He was one of our lot technicians here, and he was the biggest Subaru fan I have ever met.
But it's fun to help people. You know, we're in the business of selling cars and taking care of customers with cars, but with that also taking care of communities and local charities changes lives of people. Makes our job a lot more than just a job. It makes life a lot more enjoyable for us.
Hey Doug, what is it that you do?
We've made a difference in Utah for families that have a child with autism through several different ways. One of the first ways that we kind of came in contact with families that have autism is installing our home automation systems in these homes. And the thing that we heard back from families was their stress level was going down, almost cut in half. Kids were able to be independent for the first time. And we've also installed sensory rooms in homes, helped families with home improvements. We've helped families financially, partnering with local schools, sponsoring different events. We really want to be involved in the autism community in every way possible. We had a test program going on with families that have a child with autism and having our home automation system in their homes. And the things that we saw back from that, the things that we heard from parents, like I'm able to take a shower for longer than 30 seconds for the first time ever. My child is able to sleep in their own bedroom for the first time ever. These things and the things that we heard back and the difference that we could make with what we already did as a business, we couldn't ignore that. And so that's kind of how we got involved. Vivint and Vivint Gives Back, the one thing that we really want is just to be a great partner in the autism community in Utah.
I started in the autism field back in 2003, and I made it a point to go see basically every child in the 6 districts that was on the autism spectrum, so that I could learn what the spectrum looked like and see what teachers were doing.
He has been tireless, absolutely unflagging in his determination to learn everything and stay on top of the cutting edge tools and resources for us. And we're so grateful.
He liked to draw cars, and he liked to have pictures of cars. And he had folders, 3-ring binders of nothing but cars. And all he wanted to talk about was cars. And so I sat down with him and listened to him about these cars. And we got talking, and he had never talked back and forth to be reciprocal. And he could not believe that he could ask somebody a question and they would answer his question. And that was probably one of the big turning points as to what autism was and how I knew that these kids had a hard time asking questions and being reciprocal.
One thing that I will always remember about Bob is that in every meeting we've been in together, he always says at some point, I love my job and I love these kids. As a parent, I can't think of a better thing to hear from a professional, because that passion is what drives.
And the children have benefited over the years through the program and through the things that Bob has given to us as teachers in the Iron County School District. And I know he's done it with other districts as well. And I have really appreciated what he did and the legacy that he's left us and the knowledge that he's given to us so that we could better help those that we teach that have autism in our schools.
Just spend time communicating with that kid the best you can and to get the kid to communicate back to you any way they can.
I'm pleased to say that you fit the bill. You did exactly what we needed. You gave that program stability, you gave that program substance, and you have helped it to grow over the years into a program that we can all be proud of.
Comments about Kathy. Kathy has spent her career teaching effective autism strategies to educators. She just doesn't teach them the basics, but shares her passion for making positive changes for children on the spectrum. Kathy's dedication, knowledge, and the skills she shares with hundreds, perhaps thousands of teachers is impeccable. She is an advocate, bar none. She is one of the hardest working people I've ever come across. She has an infectious, optimistic attitude. It was mind-boggling to observe all the hours Kathy put in at the office, from early in the morning to late at night. It was clear that providing training and resources to teachers across the state was not just a job to Kathy, but rather a passion. She would always interact with educators in a very warm, welcoming manner. Teachers felt like they had a friend in Kathy. She was never too busy to listen and help. She probably used more storage area at the UPDC than all other employees combined. It was important to her to keep materials on hand so that she could help teachers in any way she needed to. She was also willing to travel great distances to assist a single teacher or a school in need. Kathy's expertise is valued way beyond the borders of Utah. Her training on autism was requested far and wide by folks in many other states and even other countries. She always talked about her family with such sincerity and love. Her tireless efforts will continue to have an impact for many, many years in the future. Kathy does the job of 3 people. She is humble and always focused on improving outcomes for students. Her positive spirit and enthusiasm are contagious. Kathy is a passionate teacher, leader, whose work both in the classroom and in the staff development has earned her the respect, admiration, and trust of her colleagues. I can say without hesitation that she is one of the most outstanding professionals I have had the opportunity to work with. Kathy consistently demonstrates both the high levels of technical competence and the deep understanding needed to effectively and consistently address the lifelong needs of students with autism and significant cognitive disabilities. We had the pleasure of working with Kathy on our ACU leadership team. What a delightful and energized person Kathy is. She's smart, passionate, and kind, and we love her.
Upon a star as dreams